Alright everyone, it is I, Schrodinger Jazz Star Valentine, and that is the first, first start stream I've had in a while. Usually it takes 1 or 2 attempts to start a stream now, but hey, I'll take it. And today, hang on. Yeah, I started a stream right around the same time as my wife. I know, sometimes that happens. And today, you might be asking yourself, gee, Schrodinger, this world looks a little familiar. Like, why do I see those familiar banners? That familiar interior of an all too familiar, way too familiar town hall right in front of me? And the answer is, we're in Ymir. Yeah, that's right. For today's VRChat world exploration, we're going to be exploring not only Ymir, but also Strangeways in that exact order. You see, I decided to start with, a little something more normal. That, of course, being, Ymir. Because, though it is a sci-fi fantasy setting, it is still something more familiar. Something, you're pretty much already more accustomed to. Because, yeah, this is a fantasy setting, but, this is a town hall. We're in a city. In a nation in this science fiction fantasy, universe. And then goes something more, what the fuck? Later on. So yeah, let's get to this. Let's actually do this here. Oh man, where do I even begin though? Where do I even begin with Ymir except to say that Trails of Cold Steel 2 and Kaseki series in general is one of my favorite game series. Hey, Diamond Bang Bang, how you doing? Mwah. But yeah, the Kaseki series in general is one of my favorite game series of all time. It is awesome. And and though I did, start getting into it, earlier this year, and have never even really touched RPGs aside from, Omori and Undertale beforehand, and, it was pretty much the first game that spawned my RPG craze, more or less. Trails did quickly become a mainstay flagship series of this channel, and has been a real mainstay for a pretty damn long time. Especially compared to, some other series that came or went throughout the years. And is definitely one of my more recognized series alongside, Honkai Star Rail, BioShock, those sorts of games that I just absolutely loved. Now, was it always like this? Yeah, no, it wasn't always like this. More specifically, the first game was the first Cold Steel game. That one was dog shit. I'm just gonna straight out say it. That one was genuinely one of the worst games I've ever played. Like, there were balancing issues. There were a ton of performance issues, and it was just really bad too because the story was so good, and yet the game itself was just terrible. But Cold Steel 2 completely redeemed the series for me. Cold Steel 2 is just it is you really have to experience it. it's one of the best games I have. Is truly one of the GOATs of not only this channel, but also of any game I play, period. Is just that good. Where you begin? It's amazing. It's an almost 9 out of 10 game. There are some balancing issues that keep it from being perfect. You know, there are some issues with balancing that do kinda drag it down a bit, but you know, the story's fantastic. Albeit I didn't like how they played out some plot elements, but hey, I'm not gonna nitpick. It's a fantastic, well-written story even then. A little tropey and goofy as hell, but fantastic and well-written. That's what's important. But yeah, just this game it's incredible. And I just have a really hard time describing how good Cold Steel 2 is. You just have to go play it. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go play it, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and what I'm just failing to fully describe here. But anywho, let's actually kick this off. So as you can see, though, you know, the Unreal Engine games, specifically the Unreal Engine 3 games, i.e. the first two Cold Steels, though they do have more limited graphics compared to even, you know, the Unreal Engine 4 games, which the Unreal Engine 4 games were Cold Steel 3, Cold Steel 4, and Reverie. Compared to those three, yeah, a little bit more limited, you know. This was when Falcom finally really figured out how to use Unreal Engine, and you know, started really running with it, and started really getting good with, you know, not only graphics in Unreal, but also just making a game, period, with it. And it really shows because, you know, though some of the graphics do have that old jank of the first game, especially in terms of, you know, there being not that much post-processing and a lot of old PNG graphics and stuff, and it just looking a lot more early 2000s in general, or, you know, mid to late 2000s to early 2010s in general. It was still a fantastic looking game. Like, you know, what looked fantastic looked absolutely fantastic, and what was there definitely looked pretty spot on, pretty top notch. Even if, you know, Falcom doesn't exactly spend the most in these games, they usually spend more on their other titles, yes, but Gold Steel, yeah, and Trails in general, you know, that usually takes a bit more of a backseat in terms of budget. But even then, still looks fantastic. And this game plays fantastic too, especially if you're on easy mode. Not sure about normal and hard mode. Heard mixed reviews on those. Heard some mixed criticisms on balancing in those modes, but easy mode, very damn good. So, let's start out with Rien Schwarzer's home. Because, yes, Rien Schwarzer is in fact, well, the adopted or stepson of Baron Theo Schwarzer, the man who actually governs this city, who actually rules and governs this city. So, yeah, his home is actually the town hall. which I'm gonna be honest here, but the Ymir Town Hall has to be one of my favorite locations of the game. Just simply because it looks so good. Like, not only, does it have, proper reflections, something that was very seldom seen in the first game. Like, yeah, they did have reflections, but they definitely weren't proper. But also just because, all the textures are very well done, everything looks nice, it's very well lit, and it's just very pleasing to look at, especially, compared to, again, a lot of things in the first game. And I know I will rag on the first game quite a bit, but it was just so bad to the point where I can't get out of my mind. Whew! There's the, there's the Schwarzer emblem. Which you'll see all across the state, because again, he governs it. Obviously. Kinda shame they didn't put, like, a VRChat mirror here. That would actually make a lot of sense, because, this is a mirror, so... Yeah, not sure why they didn't... Oh, there's a Calvardian Tachi! Because, again, this is, Reen's room. And is actually the first thing you see when you are initially introduced to the city in the game. Yeah, when you're taken to the town of Ymir in the Norcia province, you're actually recovered by a search rescue team sent out by Baron Schwarzer himself. And you are pretty much found unconscious and well, put in your bed at some point. And yeah, upon waking up, that's when Reen finally gets his first look outside the window, and he's like, "Oh, I'm back home." And that's when he realizes that he was that yeah, this is indeed his home. He's back in Ymir. So yeah, it pretty much, which by the way is why I decided to start to stream out in the town hall as well, is because since the town hall is pretty much the first place you actually visit in Ymir in the game, it just made sense. Oh my god, this Wi-Fi card is terrible! There you go! You piece of junk! This computer is all I'm gonna say. Yeah, lots of technical difficulties with VRChat streams nowadays because... So, as I explained in earlier streams, my old Wi-Fi card's dead. And because it's dead, I had to pull out this older spec lower spec Wi-Fi card from another PC and stick it into this one, and yeah, just half-assedly retrofit and relinquish it from that one. And it works, but not very well, as you can see. It has a lot of issues and a lot of scuff because, you know, this is just an older Wi-Fi card and it's just not quite set up to handle more modern standards, which, yeah, that's a bit of a letdown, but it's better than me not being able to stream at all. So I guess you have that. Oh yeah, and I do have my but yeah, since you know, Ymir is or rather, since the town hall is the first introduction you get to Ymir in the games, I decided, you know, it would only make sense if you know, you oh, what am I trying to say? Oh yeah, that's right. It would only make sense if, you know, I started the stream here as well. Just, you know, for the full Ymir experience. You pretty much get it. Alright. And this is the room of Elise, who is also very skilled with swords and combat as well, but she uses Vander style court fencing. Yeah, she uses Vander court fencing school of swordsmanship. She's not really into the 8 leaves, 1 blade and or 9 tails style like Reen is. Which there's a lot of different sword styles to remember in the Kaseki series. Gonna be honest here, but yeah. Just a lot of different fighting styles in general. Kinda part of what gives the game its charm, though, let's be honest here. Oh yeah, and then right across is, of course, Baron Schwartz's office. Which is a pretty fancy place, and does have his, very fancy orbital guns, especially the bottom gun. Damn. I wish we actually got to see him use that. But sadly, we didn't. Oh yeah, and Tio does actually have a wife in the games. I believe her name is you know what, let me look it up. Because it's been a little while since I last played this game, so some of my memory quite ain't there. Others, you know, I remember all the important stuff. Like, you know, I remember the basic plot and all that jazz, but there's a lot. Oh my god, my PC is lagging again. There we go. Well, no, that's not my PC, it's my phone this time, because this is a low-spec budget gaming phone that just isn't that great. But, you know, it works for what I need to do. Come on. junk. Piece of junk is a phrase I have to use a lot for technology because a lot of stuff I own is either low spec or straight up dying. Alright. Yeah, her name is Lucia. Lucia Schwarzer. That's right. Luckily, my phone worked well enough for me to look that up and remember that. And I know they do have a maid. I don't remember her name. Right off the top of my head, anyway. But yeah, this is the main room. Which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. Very well done. And very fancy. Fitting of a baron. I guess this is, the fireplace, which, I gotta admit, looks a lot better than, other fireplaces. The one Sovereign's Chill Club doesn't look that great. Actually, nah, it's fine, but I don't know. This is just better. And there's the coffee table. I'm guessing he prefers tea. Yeah, I think he does, in fact. And I know that Reen definitely prefers tea. He tried coffee in one scene. Oh, God. I remember when he tried coffee in the first game. Oh, God, that was something. Definitely did not like it. And there's a sink. And of course, your usual assorted fruits and vegetables and all that jazz too. Really, really good looking. All things considered, with the amount of budget that Trails usually gets and all that. Really good looking. Even though they really upped the budget for Trails to Daybreak. Looks absolutely stellar. Oh man, I remember. The memories are just flooding back. Just looking at all this. Oh, damn. But yeah, here you got your central fountain. Which, oh my, this, just looking at this entire area just bring back so many memories. Because, like, this was a very good portion of the first half of the game. Was, just going around, rounding up your friends, bringing them back to Ymir safe and sound. and then rinse repeat. That was pretty much, how it all went. And yeah, I mean, Reed's dad was shot and nearly killed very early on, but he does make a recovery. Luckily, he does survive throughout the entire game, to the relief of everyone involved. Oh yeah, and you also have the family dog, Budio, I think is his name. I don't remember how it's pronounced, but I think that's how you pronounce it. And you also got, the usual shovels, all that jazz. And before you ask, yes, that is in fact a German Shepherd, or I guess since Erebonian is meant to be a mix of the German Empire and USSR, I guess Erebonian Shepherd? Or Erebonian Husky? I don't know. But definitely has a very unique feel, especially among other areas of the Trails series. Like, Ymir is just a very unique location, period. Not only because, it's this small, very, walled off city. Well, more like small town. Just, beyond Ruhr, the capital of Nortia province, but also because, it's generally the snowiest location we've been to. I mean, yeah, there's also Ymir. Oh, well, no. Rather, there's also, Mainz over in Crossbell. But, honestly, I think that, Mainz has nothing on Ymir in terms of feeling. Just because, one, Mainz was a lot more high-tech, a lot more like, other parts of Crossbell itself, except for Armorica Village, which is, the more traditional side of Crossbell. The simpler, more down-to-earth side of Crossbell, the less eccentric side of Crossbell. But yeah, this is, a lot more like what would happen if you took Mainz and, you stripped all the high-tech stuff off of it, removed all mining shit, and then, made it this much more down-to-earth sort of area, this much more, just sort of just traditional, not very high-tech. I mean, high-tech enough to the point where it has orbital lamps, obviously. But, not as crazy as, say, Mainz, where there's heavy machinery everywhere. You can really tell with Mainz that you're in an industrial area, whereas with this, it feels like Mainz, but, a lot more just a normal town, not really a mining village. If you, get where I'm going with that. You got a traditional house here with the cut and paste, vaguely edited house interiors that one normally comes to expect from Trails. Though, to be fair, a lot of the houses do not get a whole hell of a lot of budget. Let's be honest here. Yeah, it is. Also, hey, Cammy Morgan, welcome to the stream. How you doing? No way! They actually have a fully animated... They have Gerald, and he's fully animated! That's actually beyond what I was expecting them to do. Usually, in their other worlds and their other ports, they didn't even so much as leave a single store clerk. But no. The creator actually went above and beyond this time. Hell yeah. And let's see, can you finally go to the train station this time? Nope! Though seriously, the lack of the ability to enter the train station and Ymir was always a bit of yeah, it's not so much that he's a ghost, it's more that oftentimes to conserve performance expenditures and performance budget, people often disable collisions on high poly objects such as characters in VRChat. So very often, if it's a character ripped from a game, they often just do not include the colliders with it. I don't know. It all has to do with, you know, how that kind of stuff works in VR and how VR is just already on its own pretty intensive. So they have to be a lot more mindful with performance when it comes to a VR stuff compared to other games. There we go. I was wondering how we get back up here. Oh, yes. But Valley's Echo is pretty cool. Again, you know, compared to a lot of the other shops, which, not gonna lie, do get a little cut and pasty, this one is, you know, it's pretty unique. It's pretty unique. I'll hand them that. Huh, Plover. And plus, they do not use cut and paste very often. Anyway, like, a lot of them are pretty unique in most areas. I was always wondering what it looked like inside of one of these orbital factories. Well, I guess there's my answer. Though it does look pretty cool. Not even gonna guess how any of that works, though. Wonder what those barrels are for. Oh. Looks exactly like, Baron Schwarz's orbital gun. And then there's Camilla's trading post, which, yeah, you can't enter the back room. Though it does serve... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trails of Cold Steel 2? Oh my god, where do I begin? Just watch my gameplay series and you'll see for yourself how fun this game is. You'll see for yourself how fun Cold Steel 2 is. It is incredibly, it's just awesome. What more can I say? It is phenomenal game. I mean, there are a few gameplay things that I do nitpick. Oh yeah, on VRChat? Most of the time I go as, different OCs, or, different, just, public models, like store-bought models and stuff that I have bought over the years. But this is actually... Yeah, I actually decided to do this stream using Reen because Reen is the main protagonist in Trails of Cold Steel. So, yeah, I just felt it would be just more fitting that way. Also, I'm a huge sucker for Reen. I'm gonna admit it right now. He's pretty awesome. I guess you could say that. I have never been inside the Septian Church in Ymir. In the entire time I've been playing Trails of Cold Steel 2. In my entire gameplay series, I don't think I've really set foot in here except maybe once. Or twice, I don't know. Oh, Sister Lisa. Yeah, I did set foot in here. Like, once. Then promptly left and never went back. Though I will say, it does look pretty cool. And as, just like the rest of Ymir, very well decorated, well done. Huh. Manager Baggins. And I cannot... Yeah, I cannot read that. Let's see. Text is so blurry you can't even see it. Classic early 2010s games, am I right? Oh, there's Woo Baby! Which is exactly what it sounds like. Actually, no, the definition of the, of what the book is exactly changes every game. And it's just a big inside joke. I think it changes every game, though. I'm not so sure. But yeah, it's a big inside joke. Woo Baby is at this rate. it would make more sense if, if you ever played, the Trail series yourself, then it would make way more sense. Huh, Head Chef Werner. And this is where you actually get your first cooking recipe. Now, I've never actually used cooking, believe it or not, in this game. Yeah, I know, right? I never actually used cooking in my entirety of playing, Kaseki, of playing Trails. Well, okay, sometimes I did in early game when it was, like, actually advantageous and important. Like most of Berea Heart I did. But since then, yeah, not really. No. Mainly because I don't know, I just never felt I needed it. Like, I felt, I always felt, hey, all I need is the base items and that's it. I don't really need this cooking stuff. I don't really need any of that jazz. I'm good. But, I do know some instances in which it can be useful. Like, there are certain bosses in the early game that you pretty much cannot beat without them. And that's all I'm gonna say. And there's Osprey itself, right here. Which I will say, the bathhouse in Osprey actually looks a lot nicer than what you see in, oh, what's the game called? Oh yeah, in Trails to Daybreak. Like, I do like this one a lot more than the bathhouse and Trails to Daybreak. I don't know, it just has its own unique charm to it that just looks better. If I'm gonna be honest here. Oh yeah, and you have the pool table in the waiting room, which is pretty cool too. But yeah, the unique design of all this just gives it so much charm compared to the one in Trails to Daybreak, which, to be fair to Trails to Daybreak, I'm not hitting on it too much. Like, it's meant to be more urban, it's meant to be, more down to earth. I get it. But, even still, you gotta admit, there's a lot more charm to, this more cozy, more, this more traditional feeling place than that. But, hey, that's beside the point. And also, you can see, traditional video game logic of the building looking way bigger on the inside than on the out. Even though, to be fair to Trails, a lot of video games do this, mainly because of, graphics budget reasons and all that. There's the, But yeah, not gonna hit on it too much. That's, that's just a typical video game thing. That's not really a Trails specific thing. And there you are. Here you have, yep, this right here is the Orbital Bike, which, fun fact, was actually developed by Angelica Ragnar of House Ragnar. So yeah, it was actually developed as an Erebonian government project, but was later mass-produced by, Reinford Group, which pretty much manufactures a lot of what is, used in Erebonia. In the United Empire of Erebonia. And it's now a pretty standard thing in the UE and also in Calvert. There have been several manufacturers, such as Red Star, that have picked it up over there too, and have started producing their own versions. I'd say the only country that hasn't really, accepted any land transportation period is Liberl, and that's due to their unique situation of having lots of mountainous terrain. But damn, just look at all this. February 2024 was such a good time in this channel's history. I'm sorry. I know the nostalgia is really tugging at me, but seriously, this is just... I love it! And this isn't even the best Unreal Engine could put out. Like, this game, though it looks good, yeah, not even the best Unreal Engine 3 could do. Unreal Engine 3 is capable of a lot more HD graphics than this, but for this game, this is perfect. Just the way I remember it. Ha! It's a chest! All of this chest's worldly possessions now reside within your pack. Unless you sold them. You didn't sell them, did you? Oh shit. I never read any of the chest messages, by the way, guys. I know they are a thing, but I never really read them. Mainly because, I was rushing to the next objective and all that jazz, but that's beside the point. And, I already have a pretty tight stream schedule to keep, and that's another big reason of why. But yeah, this right here, this mountain range right here is where you are first taught how to use your orbital arts and all your basic combat capabilities. And then you are sent to fight and kill monsters all the way up the path until you finally come to the fight with the Magic Knight. Which, the Magic Knights, I'm gonna explain some lore. I try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, just in case, you ever want to go play Trails for yourself, which I absolutely will recommend. That game is absolutely... This Trails of Cold Steel 2 is incredible. Please, please, if you haven't played it yet, do so. You will not regret it. But yeah, Magic Knights are these knights developed using alchemy, well, actually these giant, sort of robotic, sort of golem, sort of magical, mechanical thingy mabobbies. I don't know how to explain them. Created a long time ago by the nobles of the Dark Ages to wipe out the Divine Knights, to kill each and every single Divine Knight. Or at least destroy them. The Divine Knights themselves are robots, so they can't really be killed, but that's beside the point. And what's a Divine Knight, you ask? Well, you know how, back in the St. Ursula map exploration, you know what? No. I guess a better way to say that would just, you know what, to explain it all. The Divine Knights are these giant robots created a long time ago by the gnomes to seal off remnants of the Septarian of Steel, the Ancient One, or the Great One. Which the Great One was created when the Septarian of Fire and the Septarian of Earth bowed it out. And, you know, basically fought each other to the death. And because it was so destructive and had such a malicious intent, they had to seal them all off in the Divine Knights, which, hey Roach, how you doing? We're currently exploring a map from one of my favorite games of all time, Trails of Cold Steel 2, and I am going over so much Cold Steel lore. But yeah, one was used in the War of the Lions to bring it into the war and unite Erebonia by Draco Race Arnor, who became the reigning emperor of Erebonia. And pretty much, you know, established the modern nation and government of Erebonia as it stands now. And this one was actually sealed away in a hangar underneath Thor's military academy, which Emperor Draco Race Arnor also founded. And yeah, in order to access this hangar, you of course had to pass this trial, which involved killing Loa Erebonius and all that jazz too. So yeah. Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole yeah, it was a whole thing. Oh, hell yeah! And yeah, this is a recharge station. Looks a lot better than the ones I've seen. Even though, again, I suspect that that's because it wasn't playing at the highest settings. Mainly because, you know, my PC's garbage. But yeah, that's beside the point. Really, But yeah, the lore is pretty extensive. But yeah, anywho, you had to fight this magic knight, and unfortunately, yeah, you weren't quite able to kill it using your own weapons. You weren't quite able to take the thing down with your own strength. So in order to actually kill it, you of course had to rely on old Valimar here, who the Valimar fights were some of my favorite moments in the game, and Valimar the Ashen Knight there's a reason he's such a meme. He's just that iconic. And really just incredible overall. I love him. I love Valimar. And also, because this was right over a Septium Vein, you could also use it to teleport to different areas linked up to Septium Veins. And that pretty much served as your fast travel around the world in the first part of the game, but that's beside the point. And you know what? I don't think I'm gonna go all the way up here, just because, you know, it really is just that extensive. And also, this entire part could pretty much be its own. Yeah, the entire part of the Isengard mountain range up here can pretty much be its own thing, but I will at least, you know, touch on it a little. So this is the first part of the Isengard, or rather the first part of the game itself. Because this is actually where you, after, you know, fleeing from the Imperial Liberation Front and or Noble Faction forces, when the Noble Faction took over, pretty much invaded and took over all of Trista, this right here is where you wake up. And also where you initially discover the truth that Emma is a witch, for one thing. That crazy cat, Celine, can actually talk and actually speak proper English somehow. And you've been cryogenically frozen for a very long time. About a month while you were healing. And yeah, Reen was actually frozen in cryo sleep for an entire month. It's a whole thing, but to explain it, it's injuries sustained during combat against Crow Armburst, who, aside from being the commander of the Ymir Provincial Army, is also just generally just... there's a whole story with him. But I don't know, like this entire area, I'm just gonna save it for a whole different stream. Alright, back down the mountain we go. It's just so nice to be here again. And honestly, I think that with Unity's lighting, it does look a little bit better than Unreal Engine 3. Because Unreal Engine 3, it was a little limited by, you know, the tech of the time. Like, it wasn't as good as, you know, more modern engines are now. Still perfectly capable, but, you know, more modern engines, they just got more features. What more can I say? Plus, some of the best games were made on Unreal Engine 3. This Bioshock Infinite, Bioshock 2. A lot of the Trails games, well, those, including Cold Steel and before. Well, those including Cold Steel, more properly including Cold Steel 1 through Reverie, were all Unreal Engine 3. Yeah, there were a lot of, which that's, quite a few Trails games. Though, all the newer ones, they're switching over to RE Engine and all that jazz instead. But I'm gonna make my way back to Ymir now. I did not know they used sky domes. I thought they used expansive skyboxes. Oh well. Very well done. Da, 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 da. La, da, 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 da. Honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 port. I will say that right now. Level design, graphics. Yeah, level design, graphics, and overall gameplay are just top notch. They exactly match what you could expect in the original game. Like, this is phenomenal. Very well done. Hats off to whoever took the time and effort to port this to VRChat. Hats off. You're fucking awesome. And hang on here! It's Mishy! Make a wishy with Mishy! Mishy! Oh my god. I'm remembering the Mishy. Oh my god. I'm remembering the Michelin Wonderland Thuzy quest where you had to help out LT Orion. Which, yeah, I do call her LT Orion because, she's a big theme park enthusiast. And there's a theme park enthusiast channel on YouTube named El Toro Orion. So I don't know, it just always made sense. LT Orion. But that quest in Trails from Zero was fun. Well, No, Trails to Azure was funny as hell. Yeah, it was Trails to Azure because we didn't even so much as touch the theme park in the first Crossbell game. But yeah, this is fantastic. And if you enjoy the Trails series like I do, then please check this out. This is incredible. It's actually phenomenal. Hmm. Oh shit. Yeah. Alright, now then. Time for our next world, and also time for me to go back to my normal Avi. Because this is where the stream starts to get into some really crazy territory. Strange territory, I guess you could even call it. uh... Also, as soon as we're in this world, I am gonna have to go take a small break to get a drink. I'm a little thirsty. And then once I get my drink, I'll pretty much be right back. Let's see, will you connect first try? No? Of course not, you piece of junk. There we go. I'll be right back. go. Alright, gonna do a bit of a check here. Alright, sorry, I had to deal with some other stuff too. But anyway, I'm back. Now, this world is something quite different from the last one. Well, you can already tell because of the button, but I already got the audio bitrate back up, YouTube. You don't have to whine at me. But this world is... it's really quite something.
Escape.
And you're about to see what I mean.
Explore gardens of corridors. Halls full of thoughts and deserts of scribbles. Live among the leaves, creatures, and trash. Come now and wonder your story through Strangeways.
Already you can see, the heavy Backrooms influence, the heavy Twilight Zone influence, just influenced by all those classics. Here we go. To infinity and your Ah! Oh. That was my own tail! I get scared of my own tail. Well, I am easily scared. I will admit that much. I am like I often pretend to be super duper tough and then I just get terrified of the strangest things. Yeah. But already you can tell this is a pretty, well, strange, needless to say, world. And actually got an award at the Venice Film Festival.
Once in the void, a stone spoke. How many things are there? A leaf thought there can be as many things as you want there to be.
Oh, that's a little creepy.
Blinked the eye, where corridors turn and twist into finger-drawn scribble things, in the strange ways of woe, beyond the strangled earth, where gardens grow and bloom, in dream dirt that gleams and glooms, answered everything together, all at the same time. Now I say, now choose which character you want to be. Pick an avatar, and let's begin.
Oh yeah, you are supposed to pick an Abby here. Ah! Fuck was that? I do not like that noise. Ooh, I likey. Oh, there I am. Ha ha! All right. Which, yes, for those of you who are new to the channel, yeah, I did used to use the God Revenger, but I don't use that anymore. For one thing, the God Revenger was very hard to actually operate effectively in desktop mode, and for another, it was a pain in the ass to maintain as well, and to like change the colors on it and all. So I just decided, you know what? Nah, I'm sticking with the Toxiconi for now. The Flexa Toxiconi for now. And switched to an Entity Toxoni about, well, rather I went back to it about, because it was my off-stream Abby for the longest time, but I started going back to it for on-stream stuff too. Since April of this year, when I started streaming VRChat again. Either that or May, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which. It's one of those 2 months. But alright. You got this Abby, this, and this one. Now, you don't have to pick an Abby. Like, I know it does help with immersion. But, I don't know. I decided that, you know, I should just, you know, use my normal Abby for this. Which is pretty much what I'm gonna do, at least for this playthrough of it. Huh. Weird dancing wacky inflatable sausage men! Is that ink? That better not be Toon Blood. Because normal blood's already hard enough to clean off of stuff. Huh, a giant cat. Very, wacky looking visuals, though. Actually reminds me of, like, the black space in Amori almost. Probably where they drew some of the inspiration from, to be honest. Ugh, what the hell is that? But yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did draw at least some inspiration from Amori Black Space, because honestly, this does look kind of like that almost. Just, less terrifying and less likely to kill you. And less nightmarish, though. Just as monochrome and weird. Hang on! There's an eye on that outhouse! Huh. Oh. Oh god! What's even happening there? Well, time to jump down the pit. To nowhere. Ah! Alright, we'll have to private this. Let me check. Yeah, I don't think it was too bad. Half of these are very, Ah! I am not staying here. Sus. I have a feeling a lot of these images are AI generated, to be honest. Especially that one. Smile till you die. Okay.
Once in the void a stone spoke. How many things are there?
Please flush behind you. Oh yeah, this does have audio link. ironically.
blink the eye, where corridors turn and twist into finger-drawn scribble things in the strange ways of worlds beyond a strangled earth, where gardens grow and bloom in dream dirt that gleams and glooms, answered everything together all at the same time. Strange ways, strange ways, strange ways. Strange Stranger ways to strange ways, strange ways.
Alright, we're back.
Strange ways to strange ways. In a world of mystic gray, what do you seek, did shadows say?
Yeah, there is audio link here. Do like the music. Huh? Oh, you can't actually get out that way. Oh well.
Where do we go? It asked in vain. Strange ways, strange.
Nope. Don't enter. What? Alright. Not a bad bar. Mr. One-Eye Man.
Once in the void, a stone can be as many.
Oh! They just lead to the same place. Huh? What the hell is that?
Where will I find them? Blinked, there can be
What the hell is that?
as you want there to be.
What?
Where corridors turn and twist into finger
Oh, it's another 3D scan.
in the strange ways of woe.
Ah, become your dreams. Closed. This is like an old theme park that got shut down apparently. Not even gonna ask what's going on there. Well, I've been on crazier subways. definitely did not want to stay here much longer. All you gotta say about that world is, what the fuck? That's it. That's all I have to say. But yeah, this world is something. I will admit, there are some, occasional gameplay issues, but nah, they're far and in between. It's a good world. Overall, it's a pretty good world. Now, one thing I will say is that could have been improved is apparently there's weird issues with AMD graphics cards. Like, some of my friends with AMD graphics cards will come to this world, and for whatever reason, they will start experiencing massive frame drops and lag spikes for no apparent reason. And don't quite know what the hell's going on there. It's just very weird. I don't get it. I don't get what quite is, going on there. I don't know, maybe it's some with AMD's drivers. Probably not on VRChat's side. But yeah, it was just a very bizarre issue, and I don't know quite what to think about it yet. We're gonna figure out what's going on. And hopefully get to the bottom of this. But yeah, it's just a very strange issue for a very strange world. But other than that, I will definitely give this world a 9.5 out of 10. It's pretty fun. It's off the beaten path, and as Sarah herself said, this world it's kind of a homage, or it's right up there with Organism in terms of, how crazy, strange, and wacky it could get. And I definitely agree with her on that. But yeah, if you haven't checked out this world, and you got an NVIDIA GPU, even though, I don't know, maybe it's just Thomas's PC that was just freaking out and it has nothing to do with AMD. That's probably the case, to be honest. I wouldn't think that AMD would have weird issues like that, because VRChat runs fine on other people who have AMD cards, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's his PC. I think there's something up with his PC. Even though it's an Asus. So there really shouldn't be any problems, but whatever. But whatever, this world's awesome. Alright. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this stream. A little disappointed that I couldn't, do my big stream for Honkai Star Rail, but alas, it decided to install an update, and unfortunately, due to the hard drive problems I've been having and shit, yeah, it just didn't install properly, and now I think my entire copy of the game is screwed. So, in other words, that could potentially mean one thing. That could potentially mean that I might have to cancel the Honkai series until I get the new laptop, which I honestly do not know when that's going to be. Because, it's heavily dependent on getting settlement money and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a whole thing over here right now. But hopefully it happens soon. Hopefully it happens soon so that, not only do I have an actual computer that actually works, but on top of that, so that I don't lose everything. Because I am getting dangerously close to losing all my files on this machine, losing all my music on this machine, which I have spent forever collecting that music and compiling it into my current soundtrack that is ever growing right now. Even though I don't really use it that often because not a whole lot of streams need it, but still. I'm just really scared right now about this computer's health, about everything. So yeah. Hopefully we can fix the computer problems soon. But hey, it was nice that, I did get something out nonetheless. I did at least, do a stream. When I could have absolutely thrown in the towel today. I could have just said, you know what, since nothing's working, just screw it. I'm gonna throw in the towel. But I didn't. No, instead I persevered, moved on, and decided that, I'm gonna recover this. I'm gonna try to at least get something out there. And that's what we're doing. So yeah. This pasta's good. Alright. So what will I be doing tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is our big VRChat stream. Which will once again also include this map. And a couple of others. It will pretty much include, the whole dealio there. And honestly, guys, I cannot wait. This is gonna be the first time showing off Sarah's new Abby, which I can't wait for you guys to see it. It is really quite something. Me and her have really worked on it. Well, mainly me. I did all the editing, and it's just something else. Not quite, saying what mall it is yet or anything. I want that to be a bit of a surprise, but yeah, it's really awesome. That's all I'm gonna say right now. But anywho, I gotta get going. I can't sit forever. You pretty much know the drill. So thank you all for watching this small stream. If you have more today, night, week, whatever, and I will see you all tomorrow for our big Fractured Roads lobby meetup. So yeah, good night, everyone. Stay classy, everyone, and good night. And I will see you all tomorrow for our big Fractured Roads live meetup. So yeah, see you there, everyone.